Plants are like solar panels, and when cultivating your phytopod, you want to be able to harvest off of it, but also make sure that it continues to have its power to harvest the sun. And the way to do that is to harvest it in a certain way that makes sure that there's always the antennas there to catch the sun. If we look at a typical plant, this one is a jute plant. You can eat the leaves. They're delicious and usually cooked. But what you can see is that it has these stalks, and the stalks have big leaves at the end and smaller leaves all the way down. Now, if we wanted to harvest some of these leaves, what we would want to do is pick the bigger leaves, which are at the top, and we need to leave both the stems and the other leaves there, because that's kind of our superstructure that holds up our solar panels to the sun. So the way to do it is to harvest the leaves that we want to eat and allow the little ones to grow out again and become big in a matter of a week or so, so that we can harvest them for our next meal. Now, what's the best way to do that? Well, two things. One thing you may already know about plants is that if you pinch off the top of a plant, the lower, smaller leaves and their little axils, they're called, will grow out and take the place of the big leaves. And so, typically, you may want to pinch off the top set of leaves, and you just pinch them off and squeeze. You don't really want to have a sharp cut open edge, because that's like an open wound for the plant. If you pinch it, that sort of seals things off at the end, and the plant can heal itself and be ready. And we want to do the same thing with the bigger leaves. We just pinch those off, sort of a little bit halfway down the stalk, something like that. So now what you see is we've got something that looks like this, and you've still got leaves there that are going to be able to continue to harvest the sun, and they'll grow out and become bigger and ready for you to harvest at a later time. So, what's that all about? Well, the thing about plants is that they, so here's a sage plant. The thing about plants is that they have like a hormonal system, just like us, that controls how they grow and their shape and so forth. And what we know about plants is that the very top, the growing tip as it's called, produces hormone that basically keeps the lower stalks from branching out and growing out. So at the corners where the leaves are, if you look closely inside there between the leaf, you'll notice that there's a tiny little leaf actually inside there, and that actually is another growing tip. Now, once I pinch off the top, what happens is that the hormone, which normally suppresses the growth of that little axil there, will be gone because we've pinched it off. And so those little guys say, hooray, now it's our turn, and they'll grow out, and you'll end up with a branch with even more leaves. So the key to a successful phytopod on an ongoing basis is to be able to harvest the leaves that you want, but then leave a whole bunch of leaves and solar panels, if you like, that will continue to capture the sun and grow into something that you can harvest at a later time.